What was it like in Everett when you were working there? Was it quite a bit different than it is today? Were there all the
Well,
buildings
I
were
don't know
there?
what it is today because, that's been a long time. But I don't know.
Were the buildings all there back
There
then?
was only one building there in Everett, and that's the building we were in for the first 747 that came out.
Was it, did you have to work in tents or anything? I'd heard stories about tents.
No, but I did work in a constant hunt in Auburn, and I was there on the first move there. And there it was a constant hunt. Went on the first move, but I only was there 3 months, and then I got transferred back to Plant 2.
So how did you manage to get back, transfer back to Seattle?
From Auburn?
Yeah.
Well, I told the supervisor that I had 2 children at home, and I should be home, with them and be closer to home because it was too far. And so he transferred me back.
Can you tell us about some of your best experiences at Boeing as a member of District 751?
Well, I don't know what would be my best ones for working, but I know I was a union member all the time, and I still am. But I don't know what experiences I had.
Being a union member, did it make things easier for you on the job? Were there a lot of changes, especially with safety?
Oh, safety, yeah, we had safety. And yeah, that's when they brought in safety, by the way, because they didn't have safety before. And but I never noticed too much change.
But that's very important because safety was an important part of the union.
Right, it was, because we had to wear the shoes and glasses and everything. Yeah, they really did talk a lot about safety.
The working conditions a little better?
Oh, they're better today than they were then, I think, because I think there's more opportunities and things out there for them than we had.
How about when you were in the 50s? Was it a lot better from the 50s versus the 70s?
Of course it was. Of course it was. I think they have it even better today. I haven't been there for a long time, but I think it's been better. They're better.
So when did you retire from Boeing?
The first time? Gee whiz, when did I retire?
The last one.
You know what? I have to tell you that my memory isn't that good. But I must have retired in the 70s. Wait a minute. I worked 75. 76. I retired in 76. I had an angina attack while I was at work. And then I landed in the hospital, and then I had to be off my feet for 6 months. And I thought, well, I'll just, my husband wanted me to stay home, and I was 62 years old, and I retired.
How old are you now?
I am 98.
Wow, 20 years of retirement. That's fantastic. Who else in your family has worked at Boeing, and is anybody currently working at Boeing?
Oh, yes. I have a son and daughter-in-law that are already retired from Boeing. And they've been retired now for, well, maybe 4 years, I think. I'm not exactly sure, but they've been retired for quite a while. And present, I have a daughter and a son-in-law, and I have grandchildren that still work at Boeing. And what I liked about it, too, is that we were able to get our family if they needed work, we'd tell the supervisor that we had somebody in the family that wanted to work, and he'd see to it that they got hired. That was a big change that they have now.
So you're 3 generations at Boeing now.
Yes, and I've got I've got a lot of grandchildren. I forget, I got a lot of them that work there. I forgot about Paul and Barbara. Yeah, and besides my other grandchildren.
So it's not only a Boeing family, but it's also an IAM family.
Yeah, right. And they all belong to the union. Well, right now, one of my grandsons is a supervisor, so I guess I don't think they belong to unions when they're a supervisor.
We won't hold that against them.
Yeah.
You've really been involved with the retiree club at 751.
Oh, yes.
Can you tell us about it? Your experiences with the
Oh,
retirees?
I loved that. I went to work, I went to the retirement club when they were in Sullivan Hall. And Al Wydick was being elected for the president of the union at that time. So I did a little campaigning for him. And then from there, when they built the new building, I used to go my husband and I used to go every Monday. We never missed a meeting or anything, but we'd go down to Union Hall every Monday, unless we were sick or something, because they always had something. And then I usually used to sit by the door and greet all the new members. My husband used to greet them, and I used to sign them in and put them in the file, because we did charge their wives or something $2 a year there to be a member too.
So my understanding is that you were very active at the retirees.
Right.
My understanding, you organized a lot of different projects.
Yeah, I was their tour coordinator, and I'd go to a lot of tour companies and try to get the trips for them, and then I tell them, no, I get the price down as low as I could, because I had a group for them, and so they'd always give me good prices, and we always had more than enough people going all the time on the trips. I like doing that because it was fun. And we went on some, but I couldn't go on all of them. But I always had somebody to go with them.
So where have the retirees gone? Where have they gone to? Just locally, or is it across the country?
Oh yes, we've been to Europe. We've been on cruises. We've been to Australia and Tahiti. We've been all over but South America. We've been up in Nova Scotia. Oh, I've taken them all over. And I always had more than enough people to go. Because a lot of people that didn't even come to the union, but they did get the machinists. And they'd read the trips in the machinists. And then they'd call me, and they'd go with me. And then sometimes I'd even locate some trips in the Sunday news when they had specials. And I'd start calling some of them that I knew, could go. And and they'd go with us to Europe, and we'd take them all over, because we'd been there before. So my husband, we had a lot of fun.